force of will, forged by might, driven by fire, born by death, to rise eternal.
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
I think I missed him.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love to. How about...
Hey everybody, it's Deluxe playing one of my very favorite decks we all know and love, INFECT. Made tons of changes to this deck. I'm not in the queue yet because I've been kind of getting interrupted with queues starting and stopping and stuff like that. And we got a nice little War Games intro there. Thanks for chiming in, guys. Evening Shiraz, evening Nichols. If you're out there being quiet, please don't be. Anyway, the big change with this deck is that we run 19 lands. It's I was about to play Golgari INFECT, which we'll go over in a little bit, but there's some pretty cool changes to this. When I was really analyzing INFECT as a whole, you know, I think the default is to go with that stompy curve. You want 17, 16 lands and just go for it. All threats, all threats, all threats. Problem is your threats have to be paid for, especially when they're things like Groundswell. And I'm even trying 3 larger than life and really enjoying this card. It is just game over when this drops. Mario Vaccio, thank you. All right, from Italy. Thank you so much for chiming in. Gunstfrazen. Hey, I remember that movie. That's right, War Games. Yeah, I'm trying to think of iconic game scenarios to kind of freshen up the intro here and there. Not every week, but hey, once in a while. Mr. NTG Gato. All right. Anyway, so what we run here is we run 4 Tree of Tales, and I have to explain this to a lot of people. Not meaning that as an insult at all. This is really cool against like Capsize. They're trying to lock you out. You can throw Apostle's Blessing on your own land. If you're going against Burn, you can claim your own land. It's best to claim your own Rancor because you get Rancor back and then you can play it again. But anyway, that's a little scenario behind this. We run 3 Tranquil Thickets. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And then the rest are forests. So we come up to 19 lands, about 2 more than average. The logic being we can cycle instead of Gitaxian Probe. We've got the card draw here, and life is commodity. I was having a lot of raids or close wins against Burn of all things, with a lot of different builds, not just this one. Obviously, we run 4 Mutagenics. You have 4 of these in your opening hand. It's pretty much game over. Our Glistener Elf 1-drop. Groundswell, again, to support the 4 land drops. Let me check up in the chat here. Nerd of the Core, hey, thanks for joining us. Shiraz, as noted, and JSig. Hello, all capped up. I like it. Anyway, so the other thing I was running into, I almost played, like I was saying, the Golgari INFECT build, and it's a little slow on the uptick because of the coming to play tap lands, but unless you have this in your opening hand, you don't really feel it, and then you have the advantage of Unearth and the Flying Evasion. Problem being, I was playing that, had a lot of a few 4-1s, had a lot of 3-2s. I was really missing Apostle's Blessing, both for just the kind of counterspell mentality and being able to alpha strike and go through stuff. Obviously, when you're going against Stompy, you play all this stuff first, and then you make it pro-green. Made that mistake a few times. Also, with our land count, triggering Landfall, I mean, this is the most powerful spell in the deck for the mana cost. And when we're running landfall mechanics, I don't want to run 16, 17 lands. I want to consistently hit. Also, a good point, you got to regenerate your Mamba often. And just, you know, you want those consistent curves of 2 or 3 lands in your opening draw, and usually you can cycle one of them. Anyway, I hope I've explained or defended that enough. I'm trying out Larger Than Life over Shiraz. If you can get ready Predatory Strike or Predator Strike, which gives 3/3 in trample, same mana cost, but it's a sorcery. The only time that card is superior is in defense and in saving a critter. You can't do that with Larger Than Life. However, with respect to Larger Than Life, a lot of times against control players and against a crowded battlefield, you'll catch yourself playing Predator Strike as a sorcery to see, is this cool? Is this going to be a huge problem? They counter it. Maybe you've only got that one attack, or you don't attack. So it's kind of a wash with that card. 4 Vines of Vastwood, 4 Ichorclaw Myrs, and we run 2 Corpse Cur. I did have what was it? The Crisp Bearer. It's a 2/3. I like it over the Rotwolf just because of its backside being able to dodge so much removal, especially Magma Jet and Disfigure is so popular right now. But in the end, against control, I really wanted these. I wanted a 3rd, but Burn has been kind of a tough matchup. So in our sideboard, we have 1 Pulse. The Pulse with the Curs and the 19 lands usually is able to kind of lump that hill when the opponent's at 8 or 9. Usually, I say. We got this for the Delver matchup, and I respect it even more. I run 3 more Aerial Volleys because the UR matchup, I have games where it's like, oh, this ain't a problem, and then I'll run 3 games where I lose to it every single time. Nature's Claim, just to catch all. The best thing for this card, if you're new to Infect, end of turn Journey to Nowhere bait. They come at you, alpha striking, you zap it, boom, you're off to the races. And my tech, I believe I'm the first one to do this. I love this tech against Stompy or anything non-flying. Treetop Bracers, this is just a backbreaker. Just read the, Enchanted creature gets +1/1 and can't be blocked except by creatures with flying. You drop this against Stompy, it's better than Fog, I've found. So, which, if you've noticed, I'm such a Moment's Peace fan, we're not running any of those. Let me check up in the chat here, guys. Sorry about it. Deluxe, did you ever think about Pytho Burst? I have. I like it, but, you know, I really want that trample ability in there. That's so important, especially main. So yeah, but no, that's a good. If I think Pytho Burst might be good in I'd hate to, I'm not suggesting this, but black, blue, green, where you could have like the flying guy and the blighted agent. So you're definitely going to be hitting for 6 and then some. So Pytho Burst better than Llanowar Augur. Yeah, the Augur I've gone back and forth against. I even considered putting some in the sideboard against Mono Black, which we're a dog too. If we run up against Dimir with an average draw or MBC, we're going to lose today. And Delver isn't that great either. Delver's kind of, it's all up in the air. But a lot of the other decks, especially Tron and stuff, it's over if you have a decent hand. Nichols says, fair point. Not sure what the 2, but all right. Anyway, so hopefully I explained that to death, and we're going to just jump in here. We're at our first one set up. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Yikes, I'm messing up all over the place. All right, here we go. We are set. We'll minimize this and join the match and get some coffee. I have barely slept this whole week. I hope it doesn't show. Ha. And apologies up front. Of course, on broadcast day of Pauperganda, about 20 minutes ago, I start hearing hammer and nails outside. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? The neighbors are like re-roofing their house outside. So don't know what that is. I saw a toolbox infect list using 3 colors, says JSEG1980, and crop rotation to fetch for the, enter the battlefield. So yeah, that's good stuff. So here we got 2 critters, which is nice, 2 lands, which is nice. We got backup, kaboom, and splat. So sorry for the juvenile references there, but we'll keep this. Not sure what we're going up against here. And this is a little bit, everybody knows I love Infect. I like speed strategies, but looks like Affinity. But this is a little bit in response to last week's just marathon. That just wiped me out. So I'm hoping that this is under a 2-hour broadcast, the whole 5 rounds. We shall see. Who knows? We'll pass the turn here and be all set. Yeah, it's really fun when you can pull the Apostle's Blessing on your own land for a capsize defense. It's rare, but it's nice to have options, and obviously the Wretch Mind sort of thing. Ichor Wellspring. Not sure if that makes many top affinity lists, but I haven't looked at a real recent list recently. Sorry about that, guys. Cut my finger, and so my dexterity's a little off. Very off. Good grief. All right, we got no red out there, and I don't see really any accelerants. I'm going to take the chance on the Myr here. I mean, we're only taking 1 a turn because Myr with Rancor, if you're new to Infect, is obscene. It's like a lot of people make the mistake of blocking it, and it just gets bigger and badder. Don't really have any defense. We don't want to see you know, that works too. Here comes red, right? That hand looks like a mulligan. I don't think so. Play this stuff a ton. Come on, a land. All right, well. Let's see. We've got the blessing back up if he tries to eat this. I mean, it would have been optimal to draw a land there. See what I'm talking about with the 19 lands? Maybe we should run 20. That's what I'm talking about. So there's only 4 of those in the deck. Don't have too much to worry about. We're not taking too much damage here. I mean, it's not like there's a Myr Enforcer out on the table. Unfortunately, we're only going to be able to hit for 1 here, but hopefully that costs him. Not the best start, but I mean, we do get our Rancor to hit, so. And whenever you're just contemplating Infect or trying to judge the creatures, I've always found it's fun to double the stats, and it gets really ridiculous. I mean, could you imagine this saying, you know, it costs 1 and it's a 2/2? I mean, there's something called the Nettle Sentinel. They're very, very good cards. So, all right. So, let's see, 4, 4, 7. So we've got we've got this. And if this was, what was I talking about earlier? The instant one. It's just you fall 1 short here, and that can really mean the difference there. So there's a win against Affinity, and this isn't an easy matchup. I mean, everybody knows Affinity is just one of those decks that can come out and swing. Cardbreaker, thanks for joining. The green of your text blew my eyes out so much. I was like, whoa. I don't know, Alex. I thought that was a pretty good opening hand. I've played quite a bit of this and just think it's good. I had 2 creatures, 2 lands, and quite a bit of pump. All right. Now, not too worried about the Corpse Curs. These aren't really going to become an issue, so I'm going to take those out. Nature's Claim might be nice. Just 2 of them, though. Just for that, either a Myr Enforcer, end of turn zap, or to disrupt the mana early. But that's about all I really want to do. Trample's going to be gigantic in this one. And, you know, this does give protection from artifacts, too. Hey, Little Fight's in the house. I thought I heard the engines working behind me a little bit there. Thanks for joining me, buddy. Nerd of the Core, I don't understand what you're saying. High risk of a blind keep. We had 2 creatures, 3 pump, protection, and 2 lands. I'll take that. Here we are. All right, cool, man. So we're up 1. Hopefully we do better than last week. It'd be pretty hard not to. But that was such a fun week last week. If you missed the show, I really learned something last week with cards that I play all the time. Gosh darn, MTG. Jeez, it's just hell-bent on making a blah broadcast. So this is obviously 19 lands. Look what happens. We still get this, so we'll mulligan this. But last week was it was so fascinating because I've played with Stinkweed Imp for like 10 years, and I've never considered it. I told Little Fight this on the phone. I called, and we were just laughing at my loss afterwards. I don't know if you remember that, Little. You were out camping, but it was like we were in this relic race of dun, dun, dun. We had like 20 seconds, and because of the upkeep of Imp, it cost us the game. And of course, you know, in hindsight, and people on YouTube and stuff give me good pointers, which are very clear now. It's like, well, I should have just pitched Relic, had 8 my Imps, and then been able to still win on the clock. Great to think of now, but when you have 20 seconds to go, it's pretty hard. So we're going to keep this. You know what? I'm going to throw this on the bottom. I want to either draw another creature, another land, or other good stuff. So I missed the stream last week. I should go back and watch it, says JSEG1980. Well, if you like watching me lose, yeah, I think we went 2-3, or it might have even been 1-4. I can't even remember. I think the pain of losing was blocked from me, but that's what makes the game so awesome, though. Just all this good stuff with regards to you know, win, lose, draw, whatever. We just all love Pauper. We're all here to check out the new stuff. Boy, where is my Mutagenic Growth? I'm just not seeing those. We're kind of got to roll the dice a little bit with Infect. You got to win early, and sometimes, you know, this is a hand where I'm like, ugh, one creature, if he kills it, you never know. I might have 3 hands before I got anything there, so it's tough to say. So here, if he attacks with this, our Nature's Claim tech might actually feel kind of decent, but might end up just wanting to Alpha Strike. I think we're just going to drop Double Seal. Huh. Yeah, I want to get out of... I'm just going to drop Double Seal and pass the turn. It's a... Because if I attack, I got to pop both seals. Unfortunately, if he has Galvanic Blast, I have to pop both of them to keep it alive. So it might have been the better play there to drop 1 seal, keep Apostle's Blessing back. I regret that already. Hopefully he doesn't have it, but again, the things that happen when you Twitch. I hear it was a marathon, says Little Fight. Yes, yeah, it was. Thank you for that, Shiraz. It was indeed. So what we want here is him to start attacking with stuff, so we can get that. That's one good thing about playing with the fog style builds, is that it incorporates that. Okay, there's red. With Moment's Peace style of strategies, it kind of promotes that tennis match, like your turn, my turn. You're gonna attack, I'm gonna attack. And with Infect, that's a great thing. Same with Hexproof. Usually do like to run those for that reason. All right. Now here, depending on what we draw, we can say protection from red, blow this up, and that's might be kind of cool. Well, see, the thing here is if we attack into the Atog, a lot of people think that when they pump it lives, but it doesn't, because it gives little like wither style counters. Regardless, I'm going to want to play this. I know we could draw Groundswell, but I'm going after the extra mana, and we'll have Vastwood back up here. I don't think the correct 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 with that is 16, and a blast will kill me. That's if he has it, but he's going to prioritize the elf over that. You know what? While I'm thinking, let me make the cards a little bit bigger. I'm all about the aesthetics, not like we're playing elves or tokens here. Dun, dun, dun. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's so nice to have this little community get together and stuff. I always look forward to it. I hope you do too. Always free, never begging for subscriptions and all that tacky stuff. We're just here to play Pauper and promote the best format in Magic. All right. Now, if I zap, the problem is if I zap the Husk, he sacks it to the Atog. I attack, and then I don't have any backup. So, this is tough. I think I just passed the turn here. Yeah, I'm just going to pass the turn and try to end of turn Nature's Claim. I don't get too burly here. As I should have a shirt that says, you know, be careful, you're only at 18 life versus Infect. I mean, versus Affinity. It can be tough. That Sprigleaf Drum is not making me happy. Now, in this case, depending on what he attacks with, let's see, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Yeah, we've got to attack the, block the Atog. See what he comes at us with. Interesting. All right. Well, first we're going to claim this. I'll get that out of the way. There's your big fatty. Fatty McFat. All right. Fat Lady Sings. We got to get that back in the intro. That's good stuff. All right. Go to 14. So, what can we deduce from this hand? Our opponent does not have Fling. It's kind of a free duress. He does not have Galvanic Blast, most likely. Don't forget you can Vines as a Tog in response to that. Yeah, and in response to that, he can TBR it too, so it's kind of a race of who goes first. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. Okay, well, now we've got spells to burn. Not too worried about this. Darn. Let's see. Got to kind of attack here and pull that off. But I don't want to eat the Myr. Alright, I'm going to attack. See, he's got, hopefully, maybe if he blocks with the Atog, that would kind of be a win-win. So it kind of forces us to not play the Myr. Oh, best of both worlds. Well, look at this. We like this play a lot. Well, first of all, I want to hit the Atog first because he's probably going to sacrifice it in response. We'll say, okay, we'll sack this to this. These will both die. It doesn't matter what he does. It's funny to see people stack up. Like if I trip this twice, some people will stack it up like, oh, my dog's going to live. You got to remember it does wither damage. And it's dead at the end of the turn. So, interesting play here. So, he's drawing a card off of this. Now, this is a scenario where Predator Strike would be better, but it's not like we're holding the trample damage here anyway. So, I think he's trying to do that. This Atog is going to die. There's no amount of pump that this is going to happen there. I think he has fling here and you're dead. I don't know. Yeah, that would explain why he's over pumping. But regardless, I'm going to make this pro red. If 14 will kill us, 12 sure will too, so I ain't afraid. Does he got it? He's probably got it. Look at this. Ancient Grudge. Well, I'll tap it for the sake of it. It's not floating any red mana. That was a kind of a strange play, wasn't it? Red. I've already got one out. Okay. And the Tog is dead. We are out of fling country. Hopefully he just drew it. So we still got vines back up. Got to play a little conservatively here. Always respect this deck. Now if we get another Apostle's Blessing, it still feels like we haven't even hit this guy yet. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Definitely has the advantage. We're going to be at 8. But our friend Ichorclaw Myr might save the day. He's hellbent. For those of you not savvy with the lexicon of Pauper and all those good things, hellbent is when your opponent or you have no cards in hand. Good thing against black. Let's open up the graveyards here so we can get a full justification of my madness. We are not going to attack into this. However, I'm very tempted to pop the seal and buy us some time against these frog mites. Maybe. Not sure. Yeah, they might have been playing around a Predator Strike under the core. That you do see those in some builds. I often respect. Now, if we get a trample, so you got to play to my outs, but he might have Galvanic Blast here, and with 2 critters out, that's a very big, and he hasn't even drawn it yet. Ooh, I'm going to block this out of fear of Galvanic Blast. I don't know if I should trip it yet. Let's see. If I draw Rancor, that will be game over in our favor. Unless we don't know what he's got in his hand here. We'll be at 6. I don't know if I want to pump this here. We do have quite a bit of trample in the deck, and I got to play to win. So what do you guys vote? We have plenty of time here. Do I trip it, kill a Frogmite? Can't win next turn. Assuming, let's just say he has nothing in his hand. I think I'm just blocking it and letting it die. Yeah, I'm gonna just let it die. What you got? Uh-oh. Hopefully he makes the same mistake. No. Alright. Well, we are dead this time. Maybe not. That's 5. I can just block the Atog. Maybe he goes crazy with it. Of course, that will kill our only chance of victory. See, I want you to realize this, you know, this being game 2 and such. Here we have a scenario where what do we want to have here? A land, you know, with 19 in our deck. So I'm tempted to go up to 20. Put in maybe the 4th cycler. I don't know. I don't really want to see a cycler early on, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a wash here, and we're going to be 1-1 for the opening matchup here. Sorry, INFECT's supposed to play fast. We're sitting here at like 15 minutes and change. Yeah. So I got a block here. We'll block here. Yeah, I did have to play that second forest because at the time we wanted Apostle's Blessing back up with the ability to trip vines for block protection and all that good stuff. Watch, it's got Galvanic Blast, just be a slap in the face. Not much worth saving here. All right. Gonna make us go all out. We'll save our man. But instead of folding, we now know that his list has Electrickery in it, which most lists do. That's not much tech. Can probably anticipate maybe 2 or 3 tops. Very rarely see a deck with 4. This will live, but there's no card that we can draw here that wins us the game. I mean, if he was infected, maybe, but we're just we're dead. So this will be 1 win, 1 loss, and we'll have the tiebreaker coming right after this. Yeah, I played a lot of Golgari Infect the last week, and it's just good enough to just, you never have to pay for anything. It's always getting 3-2. Sometimes it gets 4-1. Once in a great while it'll get, you know, you'll run into a wall and get 2-3, like, you know, Dimir decks and MBC first round and stuff. I mean, it happens to every deck out there, but all right, so we're dead. Okay, so what did we like? What didn't we like? We would like to see more trample. We don't really have access to any in the sideboard. Maybe that should change. Good point about Augur that was brought up earlier too. What I do like about Augur is it blocks ninjas all day, a lot of stompy creatures all day, and it's just overall good stuff. Nature's Claim, I think that's the right amount too. I don't really want to clog the board there with that, but I kind of think we're set here. We just he was able to flood the ground, and we're set there. Cardbreaker says, do not see a lot of Wretch Mind anymore. You sure those Trio Teals need to be in the deck? Yes, I am, because also because of cap size with Apostle's Blessing. I went over that earlier. You might have tuned in a little bit later. And it's mostly, it's not even for Wretch Mind. If you had a pie chart, 80% of the reason to do that is because of Nature's Claim with against Burn. Obviously, you want to target your own Rancor, because Rancor just comes back to your hand. You gain 4 life, and it's like reverse Fire Blast to the face. But in a pinch, it's very nice to grab your own Tree of Tails and gain 4 life and stay out of burn range. Because how often do people zap, zap, zap? They've got 2 lands, they pop them, they think they got the game, boom, you're at life again, you stabilize and you attack, and they're, you know, hell bent with no lands in play. So I've seen that happen quite often. All right, focus. I'm just going to submit here. Pulse won't buy us that much time. Yeah. So win-loss, we'll see what's up next. There are some games against like really good decks like Tron or the new with the Denovian Horror and stuff like that, where this is just like, you know, turn 2 win, turn 3 win. I'm not going to apologize because this is Magic's fault for doing this, but there is something so weird, a little ghost in the machine today, where it's just wanting to reset that over there. Yes, I would like to play first, and I would like to try to win first. Ooh, I'm not sure about this, but outside of a early Galvanic Blast, I'm going to keep this hand, mostly because we've got double backup that can target artifacts, very important in this matchup. Furnace, Galvanic Blast, we don't want to see. However, because we're running 19 lands, the probability is pretty high that we're going to draw a land next turn, and then we've got 2 backups. So this is right on the edge. Kenwaku, thanks for joining in. This is the first match. Lucky enough to get off work early to watch some Pauperganda. Thank you for joining us, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, we're the very first round of 5 rounds. We're 1 up, 1 down. This is the tiebreaker. We're going to keep a chancy one. We've got the initiative here. Like I said, outside of a Furnace first turn, very possible. Like I said, got to roll the dice a little bit. Nickel says, because at Nerdcore, RDW's tapped out strategy, keeping up Electrickery isn't always great. Yeah, agree there. Oh, there we go. You might have the Galvanic Blast, but if we draw a Forest here, or of that Persuasion, there we go. Now we've got backup and a pretty fast little clock against Affinity anyway. Boink. And the probabilities work out. That's nice to see. Got the creature back up. What's he got? And if you're playing against Infect and you have Electricity right here, use it now. Don't wait for the upkeep. A lot of people do that, and they kind of try to do this aha, and if you have the answer, it's like game over aha. Right back at you. Double down on the aha. Nichols, okay, sorry, I'm losing track of the chat there. Yeah, it's funny, with having kids, a lot of times you remember movies of the golden era, like, oh, I'd say like the 80s. Of course, the Goonies. Who doesn't love the Goonies? But it's funny to see how often the movies don't hold up. And one of the good examples of one holding up was actually War Games. I was pretty tickled with how good the movie was. It's still, I watched it, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, and the kids, they were kind of, on the edge of their seat. And gosh, with, not to get political, but with Trump and everything, it seems like the Cold War Part 2 over here in America anyway. Warmonger Central. All right. Blight Mambas are awesome. You know what I'm tempted to do here is just run right into it and then just drop Mamba. I'm going to do that. So I don't want to take a Fire Blast just to withstand one and then take heat. I'm going in for this Kunstfräsen. You should tap the artifact lands first. This is true. He's probably surprised here. I'm just going to let this go. Cool. Because we've got the Mamba. If he has any sort of removal, he's definitely going to play it here. I'll talk about a signaling pest. We're going to signal that, hey, we have an answer, which we do. A lot of times we don't, though. A lot of lists run 3 of these. I just, against Black and Dimir, you have to have that one little, that instant, whether it's a Ghastly Demise, whatever it is, it's got to get in there. But a Blight Mamba is pretty sick against Affinity, because usually you can regenerate anything that they try to do. And here's a good scenario. I mean, if we draw correctly here, we're able to, his creature's tapped, we prevent a spell, take some damage, or we don't take any, I mean, we take damage from ourselves. Darn Apostles hurting us like crazy. Usually we'll signal that they have another one if that's the case. I'm going to keep, we're not really afraid of Edicts in this matchup, so we're going to go for this. Now we've got one left on the stack. I'm just going to keep that back for surprise value. You never know, it might be an Electricity followed by a Galvanic Blast. It's tricky, again, because of the landfall issue, because of regeneration upkeeps and matches that matter. You want those lands. Every time I played this with 17, yeah, you get those blowouts, but every kind of Infect, even Golgari or even the blue one, it will have those blowout matchups. But for it to have really staying power in a tournament setting, you've got to be a little non-deluxe about it, like meaning I'm such an optimist and stuff. You've got to kind of look at, oh, hey, what about these hands? What about these hands? And in 90% of you've got to be able to do stuff with your spells. I got to be able to regenerate. I got to be able to protect it. I got to, do all this stuff. So the reasoning behind it. And it plays like it's got 16 realistically, just because of the access to the cycling lands. Which I swore there was an enchantment that had protection from Black, but it was Armor of Thorns. Maybe we can bring that up, Shirazamon, or a little fight, or anybody, whoever's first, you get a prize of my gratitude. But I remembered seeing in my mind's eye, I was like, oh, protection from Black. Oh yeah, it's like, doesn't have protection from Black. It just says something about not a non-black creature, but it gives it like +2/2, and you can play it like as an instant, but it's an aura and all this stuff. I'm always looking for those rather than either or, except for kind of cards. I just love them. But yeah, the Affinity matchup, I think it's just pilot based. I think if you like Affinity, you're 60-40 in favor. If you like Infect, you're 60-40 in favor. Try doing that math. But thank you, Shiraz. Appreciate that. Hey, Little Fight, you still there? It got awfully quiet in the house. I don't hear that clunking in the on the SS metagame anymore. Yowza. Oh, and for any, everybody knows I'm a big science wannabe geek and all that stuff and love everything to do with Neil Tyson and that stuff. Tonight on Netflix, is the premiere of Bill Nye Saves the World. Bill Nye, the science guy of 80s, 90s fame. Really cool dude. Lives here in town. And I'm finishing up his book Unstoppable, which I highly recommend. Very cool, efficient science book. Very neat. So if you need some good light reading, it's not too heady. It's good stuff. Check it out. Unstoppable. And we like this pause because this usually means, figuring out ways to stay alive as opposed to ways to kill me. All right. But this is when I would love the ability of a Gitaxian probe here, but I think we got this, guys. Clang, clang, clang. But this is how much you love me, baby. Oh, man. You guys want a funny story. Holy cow. I don't know. I think I might have told that on like the very first episode of Pauperganda or something. But, you know, when I used to wait tables and but in college, and one of Little Fight and I's friends were, we were both working in a restaurant together. And the guy who was a cook, and he was in the back room, and it's all quiet. And there's this couple having this romantic, they're my only customers, and they're the only ones there. They're having this romantic, what do you call it, reunion, and they've got champagne, I've got the candles going. I'm just being the ultimate ninja waiter. Like I'm only, you know, just on every beck and call. And Corey was his name. He's in the back room, and you hear him drop stuff like boom, and I'm like, oh crap! Just because of the sheer noise and carelessness of how he did it, I was like, oh no, he thinks we're closed and there's nobody in the restaurant. So, and then out of the blue, he bangs the pots and pans as hard as he can, just over and over again, jumps out into the main part of the restaurant with his back to the couple, looking right at me. And for some reason, he just says, "Is this how much you love me, baby?" And I was like, what does that mean? Why are you doing this? And the couple's just like, you know, mouths agape. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And he just looks around and he goes, oh shit. He just walks real slowly back into the kitchen. So that's the story of, is this how much you love me, baby? Anyway, we will we'll keep this. We're on the draw. We've got protection. We've got 2 critters, and we can cycle. We don't even know what we're going up against, so we'll see. But anyway, that's the story. Now it's on file. Maybe we can find Corey and go from there. All right. It looks like burn, if I would be so blunt as to call the matchup here. You know what? I think I might just play this. I'm just going to play it. 3 is important with the Vastwood backup, and because the main reason I played that is because I have Cur in my hand. Yeah, this looks like burn. And burn, boy, it's like 3 games they'll beat us, and it's like, we need answers. And then there'll be like 6 games where it's like 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. It's like, it's not a big deal. So many decks are that way, just so draw dependent. In that. Okay, now we're probably walking into removal here, but we'll see. Maximus Games. Speaking as a cook, that sounds like your average cook, LO. Yeah, you said something. Thanks for chiming in. I think that's the first time you've chimed in. I appreciate it. Gun Stukov, good to see you. Thanks for chiming in. Yeah, it is funny. Nothing against the trade, but boy, and I waited tables all through college, and that was always, it seemed like a prerequisite to have a sketchy past if you were a line chef or something. It just, it was a trip. Very colorful characters. Always had a story, but yeah, there's just nothing sadder than a dying restaurant. All right, so this is where we like this stuff. Now, I've made this mistake as recently as yesterday. You see this and you get all excited and you dun 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 dun. Just wait. He might have some really weird rogue flash red card that can block at the last minute. So wait till all the goods are out. We've already dropped our land, so we got Fire Blast technology with the backup behind it, so we want to play that first. But the guy is talking about was batshit crazy for real. Yes indeed he was. Very, very fun crazy, but crazy nonetheless. So here, even if the plan goes really, really wrong, we're gonna kind of eviscerate his hand of any sort of now here, the play is the Mutagenic Growth. Even though it costs us mana, we still have to you know, if a lightning bolt comes down followed by a fire blast, it's like, oh my gosh. But look what we got next turn. Now this is kind of what I was talking about. We'll put this stack. Stack, get smaller. All right. So now we'll go like this. Cast with Kicker. And especially with the Thermal Alchemist out there, you want to wait till they can't block anyway, so that's good times. I believe that's game, unless he's got some card I've never seen before. A very good example there of, you know, not doing it on your main or right when you're attacking. It's like wait till after the block, because if it got any response, that defender comes in and he eats 3 of that, and then he'd still be alive. Mikey Roo-Roo, he's past blockers at this point. Yeah, that was kind of the point of why I was talking about that. So it looks like we're going to go up against Burn here. What a stack, says Nichols. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to play something fast and formidable this week. Last week was, I still stand behind last week's deck list. I was looking at it and looking at it. Nerd of the Core, you wrote me, and we're talking about the effects of prismatic strands and the warrants of it. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm tempted to play it again. I might play it this weekend. I'm not sure, but that deck's got true staying power. So we're going to take out our Corpse Curs. We're going to bring in a Pulse of Murasa, obviously, 6 life. We're going to bring in all 4 Nature's Claim. Now we just need to find a reason to get rid of stuff. Larger than life, maybe one of these. The Blessing, you know, you'd think against Burn you want to get rid of these, but boy, that's just the reason why these win sometimes. As noted by last game, comes through a lot there. I'm going to lose 1 Vines of Vastwood. I don't really want to use it too much for protection. Logic being, if he's zapping our stuff and not us, we're buying time. So I'm going to go down to 3 of those, and we only need to lose 1 more card here. I used to have, and we don't want to lose Rancor, because Rancor is a great target for Nature's Claim. So I have arrived, says Mike Ruru. Yeah, and if you guys are thirsty for content, Mike Ruru has been tearing it up. Got a lot of good Pauper content out there. So turn 3 stack, LOL, and welcome. Yeah, good stuff. All right, I'll get rid of 1 Blessing. It's mostly a block save, so we'll see. You could argue too, we want stuff to die, so it turns on our pulse. Yeah, I agree. Little fight. I'll lose 1 Blessing. I'll go down for that. And like I was just saying, this is we've got the Blessing in hand. We've got this, but oh boy, you know, if you draw a land here, this feels really good. What I don't like about this hand, I'm gonna ship this back, is the tempo of the turn with Burn. I usually talk about that with Delver, but they're going to definitely have Searing Blaze, and when they're going first, walking into it with a Glistener Elf, sometimes I like to play a little bit slower. We don't have our 4 life spell. We've got a late game spell here in 1 land, so we're going to mull this. We've got regen. Got almost his entire life taken up here. We'll keep this. We've got an artifact land. There's another creature. We'll put that on top. And we'll go like this. Now if you're playing Burn, a really good, if you do run into this, which is rare, but you want to bring in maybe 2 or 3 artifact removals, because it's kind of, I know everybody rolls their eyes when I say organic removal. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? But it is. It's you're able to still do Burn and still keep the board clear of stuff like that. So now, without a 1-drop, I actually like this play, because a lot of times Burn is a little fight, and a lot of others will tell you stalls out on 2 mana, and so a lot easier to defend 2 instead of 3 when it comes to Searing Blaze. Like we're going to be making it a lot more content after next Tuesday. Have some time off of school. That's right. Hey, yeah, last we talked on Twitch, you were narrowing down your area of focus, Mikey Ruru. So yeah, and look, hopefully he doesn't drop a land here. We want him to be just kind of stuck. Now, I want to land. See what we're saying again? Again, you know, want to land, want to land, want to land. So, oops, kind of write down win. I'm going to play this. I'm going to drop the Myr here. I've a long game favor the Blight Mamba in this matchup almost only. The Myr is usually my favorite creature, but against Burn, look at this. I mean, we're already at 16 life. No land, no land, no land. really want to keep them stuck here. The only problem with burn is it just feels like this clogging gun, but then when that shot finally goes off, it's just going to take out everybody. Oh, dual shot. Dual shot. Let me bring this nice and big here, if I can even. Dual shot deals 1 damage to each up to 2 target creatures. First time I've had that played against me. Good stuff. Again, Stukov. Oh, 3 weeks left of the semester, and then summer break. Very nice. Yeah, you know what I was thinking of doing, guys, is that it is now getting close. And Little Fight, talk about eye rolls. He'll probably roll his eyes pretty good at this. It is halfway to Halloween, which everybody knows is always my favorite show. So I was thinking of having a halfway to Halloween special, because who doesn't like Halloween in April or early May? Okay. Again, this is like we've already cast a +4 life spell. The only problem is you can kind of sense he's backing stuff up. We're going to get this out. Now, if we drop a land next, we're good, because we got Blessing, we've got this, we've got this. I'm pretty sure we're going to win this one if we draw a land. Again, what card do we want to see? Land. Forked Bolt. What's coming in there? Yeah, interesting. Boy, we're really getting a little lucky here, except you could argue, there we go. And I'm going to take your advices. Always tap your artifact first, because they're more likely to blow it up. I appreciate that. Whoever meant that up above, take that as gospel. If you can tap one, always tap the Tree of Tails, because it's likely to get blown up in games 2 or 3. Zap. We're up on life enough. I'm gonna save my pump and favor this. We'll go with red, and there we go. Uh-oh, I hear the ladder outside. It might get loud. If you didn't catch us early on, I was saying how, of course, the neighbors decide to re-roof on Friday of all days, the day of Pauperganda. What you gonna do? We're gonna F6 ourselves if he's got another mountain here. Nope. All right, land, please. All right. Still not quite enough, is it? This is good times. Ooh, that might have. Yeah, well, with the so close. I'm gonna keep this back though, so I've got either the ability to come through and win next turn, or to double protect it in case he does have some weird sort of double spell. So Mikey Room says, don't get summer break anymore, but my schedule has 2 weeks break in it. Good times. All right, well, we like this because this means we win unless he has some crazy crazy spell. All right. You know what? I was just talking about not doing this. I'm going to attack first and just try to force myself, even when I'm playing live, because it's so easy to screw up. Wait till this B word shows up and then drop it. It's something I can improve on. You probably can too. I'm susceptible to it. All right, so we beat Burn, and see, that looked easy. We didn't need any of our life gain, but look, he was really screwed. I mean, his graveyard's an ocean of 1-drops, but we're able to keep things alive. So I'm going to take a quick break, guys. We will be back after our typical cool commercial, hopefully cool commercial messages. We'll see you in a second.
What's the largest number you can think of?
100,000?
999,000.
A million. In actual fact, it's neither of these. The largest number is about 45 billion, although mathematicians suspect that there may be even larger numbers. With so many different numbers to deal with, it can get a bit confusing. Unless you use maths. Maths stands for Mathematical Antitelharsic Half-Fatum Septomen. Think of it as the language of numbers, with 1 equaling A, 2 equaling V, 3 equaling hello, and so on. We use maths at almost every point of the day, whether we're working out how to thread our shoelaces, calculating the optimal moment at which to embark upon a conversation, or, if you can fly, planning your trajectory for the journey to work. But But some situations require a much more thorough application of maths. Let's look at some examples. Have your pen and paper ready. Problem 1. Jean is shorter than Brutus, but taller than Imhotep. Imhotep is taller than Jean, but shorter than Lord Scotland. Lord Scotland is twice the height of Jean and Brutus combined, but only 1/10 of the height of Milsey. Milsey is at a constant height of x minus y. If Jean stands exactly 1 nautical mile away from Lord Scotland, how tall is Imhotep? We'll reveal the answers to the problems at the end of the program.
It's the liquor of ages, the tonic of conquerors. Find your spark. Gin and tonic, making men into giants since 1857.
Magic of Yavamaya, now in your kitchen. Mutagenic spaghetti. The only noodles whose power and tastiness are equal only to their legendary ingredients. Our pasta is made from only the finest weather sea, imported from Dominaria straight to your dinner table. Enjoy Mutagenic spaghetti. Combine it with our signature Raffaello's cheeses and finish it off with a glass of sweet Rashida. Mutagenic. The magic of Yavamaya in every bite.
Available at Murasa's Market. And we're back. Hopefully you guys like those. Got a few little new things here and there. So yeah, going over the list again, where I think we're in the queue already. Yeah, I'm waiting on the queue there. Delver, we're really loaded up against. We've got 4 gut shots and 3 aerial volleys. Depending on if you're playing against Delver or the UR Delver, is that how everybody's saying it? I'm always losing that battle. I like to come up with these creative little funky ways of remembering decks, and I do it with my own notes, but I've got to go with the preferred nomenclature of UR Delver, which uses all the snow lands and stuff like that. But oh, here we go. We will go like this and say join match, minimize this, and hopefully we can go up 3-0. We're 2-0 now. We have beaten Affinity and Burn. Close this off for this. Yes, we would like to play first. Pretty good hand. We will keep. Really, really, really love Seal of Strength. It's kind of uncounterable once it's out. If it sticks, you sacrifice it. There's no real way other than just of responding with another spell of countering it. We don't want to see a Disfigure or a Swamp. We don't like swamps when you play Infect, that's for sure. Anyway, coffee break, says JSeg19. Yeah, I forgot to get mine. I just had enough time to do some push-ups and run to the restroom real quick. Get the blood going. Very important. For one of you out there, apologies. These kind of, you know, the weak... oh, gosh. What did I say we didn't want to see? Oh, I gotta love this game. Well, it's followed by like an edict or something like that, right? This is such a conundrum, guys. We've got 1 creature left. If we drop out Strength and then he drops Witches, we're dead. If we drop out Strength, he's got creatures, we're dead. The only fear here is walking into another Disfigure. He's already played 1. Yikon, thanks for joining us. Person 34, Shirazamon. Everybody, what should I do? I play the Myr, walk into another Disfigure, game's almost over. If I don't play the Myr, the very, very, very meanest card in this deck is, you know what, I'm playing to win, damn it. He's got Disfigure, let's see it. Hopefully he's... Yeah, I bet he's got an edict too, Kenwaku. Uh-oh, or he's going to go find one. Let's see. He casts Preordain. Bottom. Top. Drum roll. Oh! Whew. This is looking a little bit nicer. We'll play this. Huh. Yeah, I can't think of anything that really kills this, and we can't wait around for an edict, so I'm going to get in my damage while I can. And damage. Got to do some serious damage. I'm going to drop... Larger than life now? I think so. And I'm going to keep Seal of Strength back. Yep. I was saying the worst matchups, we're probably going to lose this one. I mean, I know we've got the game one, it seems like, unless he's got an Edict effect or something, it seems like we've got it. But, yep, there we go. In hindsight, I probably should have cracked that. But we've got defense next turn. Have to play a little bit more patient than usual. Now, again, if we get Corpse Cur right now, all of a sudden things are looking really up, right? Going to play this. I don't want to hold back landfall against maybe chittering rats and stuff. Yet another good example of why we play artifact lands against chittering rats. If you have this in your hand, it says you control. So if they don't have artifact or even if they did, you can't target. It has to be yours. So if your creatures are all dead, you've got an artifact land out, they keep chittering rats locking you, or you top deck this and they upkeep with a flicker to try to keep you shut out. You can at least pay 2 life and save yourself a turn there. What we want to see here is a disfigure, because thinking I got to crack this when in fact I don't, I can save it from that. Can't regenerate out of minus abilities. Play nice and slow. Let's see, I'll just call it Demir. Call it like I see it. Thank God for coffee. I was a zombie this morning. Tick-tock. All right. We're one spell away from winning this. He's 1 spell away from probably winning it too. He's going to go look for it. I only bring up the text screen when it's relevant. I just don't like the screen real estate it takes up. Bottom and top. Isn't it always that way? Disfigure. That's what we were a little worried about. We'll pay the mana here. Pay the life. Let's see, got counterspell. Okay, well. See, this is what we like Seal of Strength for. It still lives. Take that. He's hell bent. Now, there could be another disfigure there. So, this doesn't win us the game. I think we're just going to attack. Now, again, we've got Corpse Cur. Doesn't that feel good right now with 4 mana? Knowing that we can kind of reset the board. And if you draw in a double Corpse Cur, it gets fun. Problem is, most decks that run the abilities to get around that are decks that also have counter spells. So, might be a Ratlock deck, says Ken Walker. Yeah, that's what I'm fond of calling it. There's so many kinds of Demir decks out there. You just got to be cautious. We'll come in here and neuter this. Now we wish we did have larger than life, right? Try to gut that. Come on, Rancor for the win. No edicts. 3, 4, 5 lands. 6 lands. Edict turns on next turn unless he drew some sort of nastiness. Oh boy, we don't like this. Yeah, here comes Edict. Edict's back. Some run 3 disfigure, only 2, but most also have decay. That is a very good card breaker. You are spot on with that. Boy, am I glad he did that. You see that play. Interesting. I really would have chose Chainer's Edict there. Like, really would have chose it. Yeah. Well, let's continue our neuter fest. Ta-da! I'm going to go like this. Pull this up. I'm going to play this for our Edict Insurance. I really want a trample card here. A counter spell coming up. Alright. I don't like it, but alright. So he's got a disfigure in his hand. We've got the answer in ours. The way he tapped that, I think he might be on counter spell. Gulf Squid, what brought that up? Squid 2/2 and comes in with tap all lands target player controls. Ah, good stuff. You know, a card I've been wanting to play is that it's that suspend white card, and it gives it taps all white creatures that come into play. Been talking a lot with some of you about rebuilding a White Weenie, just more of Air Patrol sort of style. And like I was saying earlier, I lost my train of thought, but I forget which one of you out there it was, but I've been going over for like a week straight a White Weenie list, and I was like looking back at like my original list that used to, you know, win the day with Benevolent Unicorn way back, and it had Shades of Trocaire in there, and I was like, God, I wouldn't even play that now just because of the bounce and stuff. But so here's a good example of when we like to see this. We'll cycle this up. All right, I've got, boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugh, this is just awful. Coolest thing about Myr, it just keeps regenerating and paying for itself. I just love it. We are not going to let that happen. We're going to cast this on the Archaeomancer. I'm pretty sure we've lost this one. He's already got Edict Math or burning spells to try to stay alive. Only way we were able to really do anything that turn is just to slow him down. It's like rolling through a stop sign. It's no big deal. He's still not going to get a ticket. So that W deck was the first one I played when I started playing Pauper. Yeah, Card Breaker, I'm with you. That's how I was too. So here's Ratlock. It's interesting. He didn't keep a... oh, he doesn't have a black source. Okay. We'll do that, and hopefully we draw like a... maybe he attacks with both, and we draw the... what's the spell? Larger Than Life. Dun dun dun. Love the fair atmosphere there. Good stuff. They say that the Hadjad Tezzeret will be reviewing every invention at the fair. I made sure to build something that will stand out, said somebody who I can't pronounce. All right. Well, he's got respect. We don't got it. I think I'm going to fold this one up, guys. About my only play here is a bluff. He's already got the... we need to kind of draw into a cur and just... maybe he eats a lot of creatures here. So this is real important of how we're going to stack this. I'm going to go like this. That's probably going to be bounced first. I'll prefer to do the... let's see, that'll be 3. That'll kill that, neuter that, and we take 2. A lot of you might not agree with this play. I just like, if we do, I'm playing to my outs here. I've played this game enough. This game, like Dimir versus this. I'm not going to hold on to a land. If we don't draw a Corpse Cur in like 2 or 3 turns, I'll scoop this one. But if you built around Exert, says Nichols, not bad. Exert. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Kenwaku Affinity pumps out 4/4s for 2, so a 3/3 flyer every other turn didn't seem that good to me. Oh, but it does if you have the awesome power of Prismatic Strands, right? Still, this is kind of feeling like we're the half-dead mouse against a really big house cat. We're just looking to disrupt something, and we're definitely going to drop a game here in the first one. And it's tough when you're designing for Infect. You really have to stay true to what the deck's good at. I'm going to probably walk into a counter spell here. What the deck's good at is killing you really fast. And sometimes you can get a little too cutesy with answers. Like I was saying, I used to play Crisp Bear, but I needed that extra creature. And I was like, well, why not have some synergy in there and also promote the ability to... I'm going to kill that Archaeomancer. Not kill it. We're just going to slow it down again. Trying to turn off this little lock here, but... This is a fool's errand. I mean, we've lost this game. If he remembers his Chainer's Edict. Yeah, time to concede. He's going to bounce that. I got to discard it. So we lose the first game to Dimir. We're probably going to lose either the second or the third. Not to sound like a defeatist, but just to be real, plenty of cards in that untap one of all your creatures at instant speed. That is true. Pulse of Murasa is good times. You know, other than... I'm tempted to bring in Treetop Bracers. I'm not going to, but I'm tempted to because there's just so many ground blockers. But in this matchup, we really just want our creatures back. Now the Pulse engine, it's not that we're really worried about their life, but it acts as a third Corpse Cur, and you can get this at end of turn, which is so important. When I did run 3 Corpse Cur, I used to have 1 on the sideboard, and I run up against Dimir. Like I was saying, they can Edict, they can Disfigure, they can do it. When they get that mana, it's very hard to beat them, and playing another thing on your turn is usually a walk into a counter spell. So end of turn this, sometimes they'll counter it, leaving an opening for the inevitable smackdown. And I'm going to take out a Larger Than Life. mostly because of Chittering Rats, and I can't play it at instant speed. A lot of times Rancor is the bad card in this matchup, but it's an earlier spell. Sometimes it's just terrible. I'm sure you guys have been there with Stompy or other decks, maybe in Hexproof, when they kill your creature, it comes back to your hand, Chittering Rat, Chittering Rat, Chittering Rat, and you can't get rid of the Rancor unless you want to start taking a Fire Blast every turn. So actually, because of that, I'm going to lose a Rancor, and I'm going to keep Larger Than Life, because that might actually I see more scenarios where that works. All right, not looking good. Nature's Claim doesn't really have a spot here. Gonna go with it. Hopefully draw a lot of blessings. And our mana, again, we got 3 or 4 mana on turn 3 or 4. That'll be the really good. What about the GW strategy? You mean 4 Infect, Nichols? I'm not quite sure. Dun, 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 dun. There are other common ones. They're just unimpressive, says under the core. Nichols, GW, are you talking about like green, white, Infect, or Infect versus the current list versus that? Oh boy. This is a heartbreaker. But boy, if we drew a land, boom, boom, boom. You got to throw this back, right? Yeah, we got to throw this back. I mean, if he's on a slow draw here, how cool is it if he drops like a, I don't know, like a Radiant Fountain and trips it with a Dimir, and then we're able to kind of sneak through, Seal of Strength saves against the Disfigure. That's assuming a lot. That's assuming we draw 2 lands in a row. And yeah, we got to throw this back. Keep it. I don't know, little fight. Yeah, I mean, we have 2 creatures. We've got defense, but if we don't draw another land... Yeah, it's always on a slow draw, but he's also going to pile up the 1 removals, probably Innocent Blood, Ghastly Demise. It's going to have a... Yeah, Marino Arvicio, I think you might be right. I've been very tempted to go that route, bring up 1 more basic, so we have 3 thickets and all the rest basics, because scenarios like this, 19's a lot of land. I mean, there's control decks that play 19, and we're still running into it here. I meant the Exert build. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're pitching it, guys. Mulligan, much better. Got a little bit of defense. We might be able to see stuff coming to play. It is end of game card. We're going to throw that on the bottom. We want Pump early on. These are the kind of decks, too, that just really favor the new Mulligan rule. I think Hexproof's in it. Well, I think pretty much, green and white style decks, and red, too. Naya colors, basically. God, I hate when I say basically. I owe somebody a ticket. Anyway, Naya colors really benefited from that a little bit more. I would assume everybody did a little bit, but it just really seems like they came out way ahead on that front. All right, we're coming on through. And I'm just going to keep it simple. What do we got? Preordain. Turbo Fog, maybe, says Kenmaku. The control, well, you could argue that UR Delver plays even less than that. I think that's down to like 18 or 17 lands. That's definitely kind of an aggro control, but still. All right, Corpse Cur mana coming up. We've got this. I'm still going to use that as just going to bide my time here. We got, what, Chittering coming up? Nope, Seagate. All right. Good news is we can usually kill this and get rid of it as a roadblock. Delver did with turn 1 Delver Scrying spell. Yeah, Ten Tomb. I've never seen you chime in before. Thank you for doing that. Good to see you, and thank you for joining us, as is always the case. Ooh, this is good times. I've got nothing else to do. Let's do some trampling. Now, I kind of want something to die here. 5 guaranteed. 9 gets him to 1 if we go all out, which I'm going to do. If he blocks, it's only 2. We're going to call protection from blue, and the only reason being we got 2 Corpse Cur. Probably going to draw a land and be able to kind of turn on stuff, and he's at 3 land. He's probably not going to have a counterspell answer, so go like this, pay this, protection from blue. Should I keep it back for Disfigure, you think? I'm going to hold on to it till it wins us the game. What do you think? We could get him to 1 life. Or one short. Yeah, it would be 2 short with the Predator Strike. Kind of funny. It's like you put Trample in to get over little things, but little things. Seagate Oracle's got a gigantic backside. He must do a lot of squats. You are forgiven. That's a great name, Killer Tofu. Oh, man. Oh, our opponent is sending me a message. Let's see. 2 mutagenic? Nope. I've got all my hotkeys set, so I can't really type to people. I got to fix that. Set them to F keys or something. But let's see. No, you know what? I'm gonna pop it. Boink. Because I kind of want him to get us out here. This way, if he draws another Seagate and we get a Apostle's Blessing, there we go. But now we've got a target for our Corpse Cur, so it doesn't feel that bad. Yes, and that's case number 1 right there. That is one of the hardest cards for this deck to beat. He's at 9 infect, right? I'm at 15 life, and I think this game's over. I think we're going to lose this because of the witches. It's so hard to get around that card. Main reason why I played the 2/3 infect guy, the Crisp Bearer, for a while there. Just gets around so much stuff. But the Corpse Cur does too. It at least asks for 2 spells. But oh, here comes Chittering. Thank goodness he doesn't have the mana to bounce it, but we're still kind of dead here. Like I forecasted this earlier. If we run into MBC or Dimir, it's pretty hard. You can argue cards like the Umbra, the Spider Umbra, 2/2, but it still has to land. And then of course they have such a plethora of removal. That's when the Edict comes into play, or the just there's ways around that. So he's playing very smartly, keeping back the witches. Bruno other. I wonder who the other Bruno is. Oh boy. Yeah, this is over. Well, he doesn't have the lock yet, but it's almost there. The only way this gets worse is if he was able to keep bringing back Ghostly Flicker, but if he's got it next turn, I'll hand it to him. And again, you know, we wanted to draw a land, so who was that? Started with an M, saying Mark, yeah, Marino Varcasio. What do you think of Python Burst? We were talking about that about the first 2 minutes of the show. It just doesn't have any other ability. If I'm going to pay 2 for something, I want it to do stuff, which is like half their life and trample. That's a pretty good deal. Ugh. All right. Come on. Now, one card I have actually competed with in the sideboard is Pistis Strike. You might remember that from my Creatureless Infect fame. It was such a ridiculous build, but it was very, very fun. But Pistis Strike destroys a creature with flying for 3 mana. It's an instant and gives them a poison counter. Because if scenarios like this, you get them to that 9, you're like, yeah, and then, okay, I'm folding up here, guys. We are 2-1. We lost who we thought we would, and we're going into round 4. Pretty cool new artwork on this. Kind of feels more like Chittering Rats. That just, what would you call it? Just that crazy look in their eyes sort of thing. But it'd be funny if we 4-1 again. I between Tuesday and Thursday I 4-1 I think 3 or 4 times with it. Might even been, I've got the notepad in the other room. Just having such good times with it and doing so consistent with it, and I don't expect to do that good today just because of the nature of playing live. We're going to keep this. Again, I'm going to pretend it's a 3-land hand with a draw spell, and if we don't see red or black, we might be able to throw this out early, but it's a pretty good, it's right on the border. I want to keep it. I love the Chittering Rats art, says Shirazman. Yes. Oh, great. Here we go. Another Swamp Persuasion. Now we will slow roll this to get out of the way of stuff. Change of plans. We'll probably cycle next turn because we want to have Vastwood backup if he's playing, if this is Dimir again. Which, wouldn't that be funny? Oh, or so. Maybe it's the deck we were playing last week. We'll see. Definitely not going to play our creature here. I'm going to cycle now because I might draw a Seal of Strength. That's my logic. Hey, better lucky than good, right? So we got definite lethal if he's only got 1 removal spell. Syscoms, thanks for chiming in. Good to see you. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, this is very good times. I just deep down love Infect. I think I like it even more than Hexproof. Just it breaks so many rules, so many combat issues it causes with people, like with the Atog and stuff, and they're blocking. It's like, nope, it's still dead. And just love it. Love it, love it. Oh boy. This is game 1. Pretty likely this style has something like a Journey to Nowhere and or Chainer's Edict. So, what do you guys vote? Do you think we should drop Myr, keep a land back, or do we drop both of them and eat an Edict? I think we play Myr and force him to have it. Yeah, I'm not even gonna pause for that. See, he's got to have this Journey to Nowhere. All these things are negated by the Vines of Vastwood. I mean, we've got, this is just lethal in spades. Rancor on the Elf might have been, yeah, alright. So there goes that. As usually I really like to double down on the Myr just because of the Rancor blockability. What I mean to say, Alex, what I don't like about your suggestion is that I like to leave the Ichorclaw Myr naked without any Rancor. Rancor is the last spell, because a lot of times when given the option, people tend to try to, oh, I'm just going to throw this guy, buy a turn and block, and they don't know Rancor is in your hand. So when it is, a lot of times I do like to lead with the Ichorclaw. All right, I'll pop this. What am I doing? Play this, go like this. No Edict, no Edict, no Edict. Edict, we're dead. Let's see, this is Ortov. What's happening? Left on commercial breaks at JSig1980. Oh, gosh. What we did not want to see. Double Edict. Gotta love it. I still like the old art a lot better, but that one's not too bad. Good news is, looks like we've got a 20-turn clock. That Thraben Inspector. Not too impressed with that card. Never have been. Oh, hey, what's this guy playing? Similar to what you were playing last week. He's going to beat me with a similar deck. What's going on? You played Vitality Charm in the past. Was it not good enough, says Tentome? Not in this kind of deck. I played it in Hexproof, and there's 8 beasts in that build in that deck that I was playing. And so there's a lot to be said for just the synergy that had. I think if I was going to play any creature, I would probably go with the archers and cut down on my aerial volleys, just because of UR Delver's prominence right now. I don't want to drop an answer that can just be zapped. You could argue it's going to pull against zap from the creatures already on the board, but more, realistically, against a really good player, they're just gonna kill it, and you're out a card, and they're flying over and pecking you to death. So, but if that deck wasn't around, and I'm afraid of a lot of edicts, I actually like that because it gets around Shrivel and a few other things. All right, I'm gonna take this. It's so much more relaxing playing Infect, and I can talk, and I gotta really try to not play many control builds, or let everybody know, as I think I usually do when I play control or the kind of slower paced decks. Oh, he's playing a Monarch deck. Isn't that cool? That I'm probably going to go 2-3 at best. But Palace Sentinels, 3 and a white human soldier, 2/4. When it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. I like this card in the sideboard. I don't like it main. But as my friend used to say, to eat your own instead of to each his own. A little cannibalistic take on a famous phrase. Oh boy, man, this was looking good, wasn't it? I mean, if double Chainer's Edict kept us in check. Had he not had it, though, I mean, we've been, I think we could have done 20 infect damage. Still got plenty of time here. Problem is, 2, 4, 6. He's going to have enough mana to flash that back. And what do we got here? Pestilence. That's rough. And again, a little quick quiz. What red card if you block with red creatures, what red card can kill this? Does anybody know? I'm surprised how many people don't know this little trivia. I'm sure Nerd of the Core knows. You need a way to not run out of gas. Yeah, it's called 2 Corpse Cur and Pulse of Murasa in theory, but this is game 1. We've only got 2 main here. Got to be careful not to dilute INFECT's mission statement, which is it's turn 2 or 3 and you're dead. These games do happen. Raging Spirit. I'm not quite sure about that. Slash Panther. No, I'm not talking. I guess, you know, hey, back at me. Those do work, but yeah, Pithy Driller says, well, it seems better. I wouldn't play this, would you? Main? I mean, if the Rose was everywhere. I think it's got the jump on us with Double Edict. I think a crappy build with Double Edict would have a jump on our opening hand there. And this, if we don't draw, yeah, I'm going to fold here. Even if we had a creature, he's got Edict Math, so something with the Void. No, what I'm talking about with Guardian of the Guild pack is a lot of times people don't realize that Flaring Pain can kill it. You can, if you're running up against it with like a Goblin Heel Cutter, and they block with this, and you cast Flaring Pain, it counts as protection, and the Guardian dies. A lot of people are kind of not savvy about how that works. All right, so we're going up against this. A lot of stuff's going to die. Going to want to bring in our Pulse and maybe 2 claims, just for end of turn Journey to Nowheres. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to bring in 3 actually. I think I might want to get rid of the Pulse. Not sure. I'm going to get rid of the Pulse. So I got to get rid of 3 cards. I'm going to get rid of a larger. Get rid of a Vines. And actually a Groundswell going second. I'm going to go like this. Pithy Driller, why don't you use Gut Shot? Won't they have Standard Bearer? Yeah, that's a good point. They could. Just I would assume just with a Pestilence style build that their Standard Bearer is going to be of the 2/4 Persuasion, costing 4 mana, and if we haven't won by then, it's not looking good anyway. Yeah, we like this hand. I'm telling you guys, I think I'm going to go up to 20 lands in this thing. I mean, how many games have we seen where we really want, well, we want to draw as a land, we want 1 more in our opening hand, we want all these things. I am so tempted to use the green Retrace card. I know you think I'm crazy, but just 1 for those late games when you've got 1 dude out there and give it plus 4/4. Deluxe, I hate to say it. Uh-oh. Here it comes. Let's see. This deck is really good against yours. Oh yeah, anything with black. Everybody's got the Achilles heel. We're gonna get in our damage before stuff hits the fan here. Oh, look at me. I'm doing what I just said not to do. Going crazy here. Keeping up defense mana or cycling mana, or this is when we do like to see Journey to Nowhere. Let it eat it, end of turn, claim it, attack with haste. Yikes! Alright. Let's cycle this. Goodness in, we got our damage. So it was a good call on that. I really didn't expect to see that just because of what I was just arguing, where the guy's playing a, so we think, I think I might be jumping to a conclusion that this is a Pestilence build. No way to go Orzhov without it with a Rose deck. You kind of want to keep things in check. So I would think you'd want bigger backside creatures, which is my defense for not playing Gut Shot. But we'll see. Well, he's not going to block. Why would I play that now, right? I hope he blocks. Let's go. You ain't got no blocker. You got just a few turns, and I'm sure an Edict's coming my way. So much spot removal and Paupers as Kenwaku. Yeah, that's why we're running 4 Blessings, 4 Vines, and everything else that plays defense. It's been good enough so far. We're 2-1. Went up against Affinity and Burn, which have no shortage of that kind of stuff. And this is neat about Apostle's Blessing. It has to target a creature we control. So take that, Standard Bearer. Suck it. Oh, slow down. Black. What you got, Standard Bearer? Go and get you some. What do we got? What do we got? He's playing that, folding that, bouncing that. Pretty good taste in art. It gets so much more splash damage as under the core from the other aggro decks. Yeah, but I still love it. You get those just ultra goldfish hands. That's why we wish we had the exalted mechanic, right? Kind of just want another creature here. Dun dun dun. Not much to think about here. Go like this. It would be kind of cool. You know, they're always taking cards and adding 1 mana, subtracting a mana, adding trample, just these little variances on things. It'd be interesting if instead of hexproof, green starts getting cards that are specific to like your creature has to, because there's not too many of those. Play this, defend against this, pay this, call black. This guy's probably like, die already. Got all this hate and this darn thing keeps living. What you got, Standard Bearer? Uh-oh, that's not good. I was really hoping for more of the Journey to Nowhere or Pestilence Persuasion with this draw, but if I can get to game 3, obviously I'll bring in Gutshot over the Nature's Claim because it's not doing much for us here. We can stay alive. Maybe if they get really careless. Oh, depressing. Wish it said target creature you control. Oh, thank you, Farfstone, for hosting. Yeah, I like to do that whenever I can, too. It's always fun. Plus, it makes the channel look a little busier. It's not always just dead air the other 6 days of the week. I'm fond of doing it on Saturdays while I'm playing and relaxing. And know that the Pauperganda is broadcasting still. It's kind of cool. Oh, boy. I think we're going to roll 2-2 here, guys, and try to be playing for breaking even. Started off strong. Win-win. Win-loss win against, oh boy. Well, good news is we've got a 15-turn clock if I crack Nature's Claim. Oh, that got a little quicker. Yeah, I forget what the Coalition Honor Guard. That's the 2/4 that does the same thing, but all right. Well, this isn't going to help us here. Cycle. Cool. I doubt this guy's playing Chittering Rats. If he is, I almost want to dump this on this and start giving these things here. You know, I could pop this, give him 4 life. I think we're going to be the ones that want to have that. We could still draw Corpse Cur. The white one seems solid and hexproof. The white, black, and green ones are all good. Oh, you guys talking about the cartouche? Yeah, I was so like, I don't know if it was my dyslexia or what, but when I saw that, it just looked like it had a typo, like there were supposed to be periods at the end of the sentences and stuff, but I forget which one. I think it was Ken Waku or somebody said it was just like, no, that's how they always write it. And I was, yeah, I look at those cards, I'm like, huh? Come on, Flaring Pain. Get a gruel version of Infect going here, right? That's such a, even though it's hurting us, and well, he's at 9 Infect. I mean, it's winning him the game, but even though this card exists, I still love it. It's just such a neat design. It's like right when you think everything's just a bunch of bears attacking, turning sideways and stuff. There's so much variety in this game. I just love it. All right, we'll cast this. Walk into an Edict. I'm gonna cast this on here. And then I'm going to destroy it and get it back. Yeehaw! Heck with losing the land. We'll gain a little bit of time. Doubt it'll be enough. 2 Apostles' Blessings down. 2 more in the deck. Pithy Driller, can you explain where the nickname Deluxe or Deluxekoff comes from? Oh, yeah. I think it's been months, but I do that about every 2 or 3 months. Somebody will ask, but thank you for the question. Yeah, when I'm going to really date myself here. When the internet started, not like I was alive in the 60s, but when it really started and people had the dial-ups, modems and things like that, one of the only games that was viable was online chess, and very text-based, and you just, very primitive, easy to understand, not understand, but to see. Anyway, a friend of mine, he wanted to sound like he was Russian because, Russians, and it's kind of a tropism, but it's you think of them as like, oh, they got a little bit of edge. So he kind of wanted to be this intimidating factor. And so he named himself after one of his favorite, I think it was a composer, Prokofiev. And so I saw that and I'm like, oh yeah. And all these like Murenhof and this, that, and the other. So I was like, I like the word deluxe. So I was like, Deluxekoff. And it's pretty ridiculous. And it just stuck. And then when MTG came around and I got on the beta for that, and I was like, well, I need a username. And I was just like, I'll just go with that. And then plus I always like to say deluxe. So that's where it comes from. Yahoo Chess, says Ken Walker. It was even before that. Oh, didn't see that. Deluxe, why do you think the Raven Inspector is bad? And why do you not like Monarch Main? I don't like Monarch Main because it pretty much does nothing. I think it's good in a match against Rose, and when you're trying to fight to be the Monarch, it's a good call, but definitely a sideboard card at best. I would just prefer to play another Rose. And the Thraben Inspector, I think it's bad for me. I don't the slower decks, like I can see how it fits in Boros, where you're trying to establish that mid game and draw and stuff. I just think of a lot better cards in that spot than that. I think it came into the arena with that new card smell, and everybody auto shoved it in there, and yeah, it gets around Electricity and stuff, but I just not a fan of it. That's all. Let's see. We're dead. Okay. That's a big fat LL, I think. Is that the match? Not keeping too good of tabs here. Come on. Jeez, oh, Pizzo. Okay, that's a loss. So we're going to be right back after this next commercial break and hopefully try to play for a 3-2. And I'll see you in just a few minutes.
Honey, I just can't get this darn thing clean.
Well, Boop, have you tried Nevinrul's Disc and Shine?
What's that?
Nevinrul Disc and Shine for that apocalyptic clean! Longer lasting shine! Maybe forever!
Nevinrul's products available at all Singer Superstores. Product made Super Sin Evil. Nevinrul's products not responsible for actual apocalypse.
Attention Pauperganda Knights! Show your love of all things Papa with our Ultra Deluxe Playmats. And true to our Papa roots, the glorious artwork is 100% free.
Trying to give these guys everything they can get to me, that's it.
Just send an email to pauperganda@gmail.com with the subject 1, 2, or 3, and we'll send you the playmat file for free.
I gotta read it again because my mind is just a piece of shit this morning.
All you need to do is visit our friends at inkgaming.com. Order yours today.
And we're back. This is the last one. Time that just right. That doesn't happen often. Here we go. Come on now. Let's get it. I got a good hand. Unless he's got Edict. We will keep going first. We've got defense here. Other than a lightning bolt, we'd be dead in the water. But like I said, got to kind of roll the dice. I don't think I made too many play errors. I think will be a genuine 3-2 if we do win this one. I'm going to play this out first and hope not for a bolt. Can withstand just about everything else. All right. Feeling all right. Woohoo. Let's do some math. 4, 8, 9. One shy. Bring this out for defense. God, I hope I don't eat an edict here. I think we need to... Here's a good example. If he has a creature, I think he's going to want to block it thinking that we don't have trample yet. So I try to keep back Rancor in this until when it's game or turn 2 or 3. So Tentoom, I remember you from years ago when you wrote that Stompy article for Pure MTGO. Ah, thanks for that, guy. Flashback. That's right. The commercial you did was very good. Thank you, MTG Gato. You must be new to Pauperganda. We got a bunch. They tend to repeat. There's only so many I can do every few months. So I think there's like 12 total. So kind of mix them up. I make sure to write down so I don't repeat week after week. But I think if you watch 4 weeks in a row, you'll definitely see some repeating stuff. All right, guys, let's get to the vote. We'll walk into an edict. I don't want to feel like a jackass. I don't want to fall into... So what I'm going to do... I'm going to pop this. You know what? I should just cycle this now in case I have another growth. I'm going to cycle this now. Alright, I'm not too worried about an edict now. I'd rather the 3 get through than that, so I'm going to go like this. We could hit for 8, but I want to be able to just survive a dispel either this turn or the next if we eat an edict this turn. What you got? Well, that's not going to work, is it? Be careful here. You don't want to mutagenic and pull a Tog error. We're dead on that one. The only thing that survives that is the Apostle's Blessing or Vines. But we've got one more out. Hopefully he doesn't have another one of those. Or an edict. Or again, we're kind of just dead in the water. We'll see. This is why I actually, and I'll go over that since it's kind of a shorter broadcast. No win, lose, or draw after this. I'll go over the Golgari INFECT, which has a ton of staying power. But I didn't want to bring to this. I was running really good with what we had here. All right, so hopefully this works, and we can pull off the win, unless he's got like Prohibit or Miscalculation, Mana Leak. There's a lot of outs for this guy. Nothing died this turn. Demir again. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I gotta write the. Yep, I know that the worst matchup we face it 2 out of 5 times, but you know, and they're like, let's think about that. What's the top deck right now? Stompy. Did we see it? Nope. Delver? Nope. You are Delver? Nope. All pretty, you know, coin toss matchups. I'd say we're pretty favored against Stompy. They really got to have it, and we don't draw Treetop Bracers. So, oh, I bet Unearth would be good for Infect. It is Tentoom. It's awesome, and so is the 1/1 Infect Flyer, which has built-in. But my logic came all the way back full circle to I love this because I can Vines here if he has any sort of response. Actually, he could just counter it, and then we're still not out of the woods. But I can at least keep it alive with Vines next turn. Happy to get any win we can against Demir colors, so that's a win there. But yeah, the Apostle's Blessing, it's like, well, that lets us have evasion like the flying creature, and it protects things like the Unearth actively too. So I don't know. I think if my life depended on it, I'd play this over Golgari INFECT, but for some weird cosmic reason, MTG, whatever you want to, I just the Golgari INFECT just tends to win a lot more. I should say consistent. It doesn't have the blowouts like it should be expected. It's not that big of a surprise. So one pulse comes in. I'm gonna say maybe larger than life goes out, and we're gonna go for it. Just because there's not many creatures. I'd rather drop a Rancor early in this particular matchup. If I start seeing the Ratlock combo, then that'll be something else. But you can always count on me to play Infect about every 2 or 3 months live. I just love the deck and its many variations. Yuck. Yeah, we got the mana for the Corpse Cur, but we're not going to wait till turn 5 to start attacking. We're mulliganing this. Double creature, double Groundswell. It's okay. I'd rather have a free spell and like a quicker creature, but all you can do. If you ever really want to make my day and love Pauperganda, I know I'm never subscribed to the subscription based I don't know, mindset of like, oh, follow me, like me, do all this stuff. It's just, like I said, about the format and stuff. But if you're feeling really, what do you call, generous, and you have the alternate artwork for Glistener Elf, and you just want to give it to me as a thank you, I would really like to get a play set of those. I'm not about to buy them, but they do look pretty cool. We'll keep this. So if you got one around and you're feeling charitable, hit me up. I'll be on all weekend. I bet I won't see any of those, but we're going to throw that on the bottom. I want some answers. I want some land so that I can trip this and maybe have a chance of sneaking through, because we're going to be going up against a ton more removal now. It's probably sitting on 3 or 4 as it sits. I'm just going to drop this now. Maybe we'll eat the either. If he's got this figure, that'll be scary because he's already playing dead weight. Oh, all right, well, at least it's going to cost him a turn here. Maybe I'll Aqueduct after this. Nerd of the Course says, Deluxe, honestly, promoting yourself on social media helps to promote the format. Yeah, I know. I try a little bit, but I just think it's so tacky sometimes when every video is just like, if you like this, please do this, please do that, please give me money, please. And it's like, well, we're all paupers. I'm not here to make money off you guys. I'm here to promote the format and help everything kind of move forward. So that's why I said never gonna. Once, I think I've only gotten it twice where somebody like will actually just give me tickets to play a deck, but that's pretty cool because then it's like you're playing for free and there's no pressure. But all right, well, we obviously double Groundswell here and make it count, right? We do have the third land. This is game 2. He could have Shrivel. So the play options here, I mean, I could drop Myr and just attack for 1 and then try to win next turn fighting through an Edict. But if he's got Shrivel, I want to get the damage in now. So I'm going to go for it. Would have been really nice to, you know what? I'm going to just discipline myself and wait till I get to the block. Not that there's a card there, but... All right, what's he got? Dun, dun, dun. The Freshmaker, thanks for chiming in. Oh, you think so too, Little Fire? Oh, I know. Well, that's what I'm asking. That's what some of the promos are for and stuff. You know, it takes a village. So if you guys like it, I think it means, deep down, it means a hell of a lot more one of you guys saying, hey, go check this out, than me going, hey, look at my show. So that kind of feels a little disingenuous too. So my thoughts on that anyway. Let's see. Chris Muller is a great artist indeed. Oh, which one are we talking about there? Oh, that must be the alternate one. That's sad, says M1GR3NA. Thanks for chiming in. I've got a lot of first timers out there. Thank you for making yourself known and good stuff. I'll take in case there's a Echoing Decay about. I'm going to drop the Myr now. It'll probably eat another removal spell, and then we'll maybe be able to mix it up with a double Myr drop. We only need to hit for 1 after all. So now here's a Seagate conundrum. It's like, if he does have Seagate, hey, look at that. You don't drop it here because I might have some sort of ability. Let's see. I'm going to drop this. And then I'm going to drop this. And hopefully this is enough to shut the door. Guy worked at it for 19 years. Near to the core. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. And magic art would look even more homogeneous now. Point. Oh God, just what I was fearing. I was looking away reading and splat. We get clobbered with nausea. At least he has the decency to make it a black bordered one though, right? Let's see what we get here with cycling. Okay, I like that because it promotes that coming out. Got him on the ropes. Come on, quit drawing hate. More hate. All right, I got more creatures. How cool would it be? Drop this, then draw land here, and then be able to. I favor. I'm gonna drop the Myr here. Dun, dun, dun. All right, that's some lucky drawing. Well, he's got a handful of that. I've got a handful of creatures. Ooh, don't like seeing the Voladin Zombie. Protection from most my deck. This is when we want to see a forest. But the zombie can't get past that, can it? Now this might work in his disadvantage. That's why I love Apostle's Blessing. This is like our flying 1/1 infect guy when this is on the board. We can protect against something. You might think he's got the fort held down and he might drop something. Like even a Seagate Oracle we call blue and we attack for the win. So hopefully he takes us a little lightly here. In the flame, rather, says Nerd of the Court. Riverboa Island Walk. Alright. Well, we've got an answer there. I don't want to wait for him to... He doesn't have counterspell mana. I'm going to call black, obviously, because that's the removal color, and he doesn't really have... I doubt he's got much of the bounce spells going on here, so... We'll drop this, and we're going to call black, because that is black, and he's probably got black removal. What do we got? Is it... Ooh, okay. Well, we'll stay back then. Shirazman Greatman, good to see you again, says Golby Guy 01. A lot of people chiming in. I'm loving it. Good to see all of you. Audience growing a little bit every other time. Pretty soon I'm just going to have to shut up and play. Maybe my win percentage will go up live when I do that. What's this? An edict? Actually, ooh, don't like that. Okay, alright. Put this on top, and I'm going to hold on to it because he can either counter it with a Dispel next turn, or I will go grab my Ichorclaw Myr, try to run over the top. I want to see some cutesy spell like a Flicker here. Yeah, that kind of sucks, that part. Let's go like this and grab the Myr. Gain some life. I'll throw that back. Have Edict Insurance. It's a little mana screwed. Our opponent is, and we are. Is he going to attack? Oh, mana screw solved. What? Thanks to Rome and the aqueducts. Everything looks like it's done very similar style. Oh, the art, yes. Yeah, Amonkhet's breaking a lot of rules. A good point. Alright. Yeah, we're probably walking into another nausea here, but we've got to get through that last bit of damage. What we really want here is Apostle's Blessing, and that's the design state that I was facing with Golgari Infect when I wanted to switch over to this, is against the matchups that we're supposed to lose. That's the #1 card we want to see, and that's why I went from 3 to 4 main. If anybody's curious, that was the reasoning. This I don't like because now we have black and blue creatures, not, or I should say, or blue creatures, not and. What's he grabbing here? This is depressing. Nausea. You can do it next turn, but not this one. Ah, boy. All I can do is bluff here, guys. We're going to drop to Nausea next turn, so I'm at least going to try to drop some stuff out. Looks like we won the first game. Looks like we're definitely going to lose the second one. But I'm at least going to make him pay for it, right? Watch, he's got a Disfigure or something to keep the rats in check. I'll at least keep this guy alive. But Nausea is just going to wipe us out next turn. And I've got to kind of call it because I want to draw Corpse Cur. I'm not going to sit around and get rat locked with a land in my hand. Pretty sure this one's dead in the water. Man, we're coming up on 2 hours. I thought this whole thing would take no more than about 90 minutes, but we've had some pretty nice fun runs, and my backside isn't too sore. I think as a broadcaster, if I was a card, I'd probably be a 2-1. I can't sit for very long. Gotta get up. Hopefully keep it fresh. So yeah, stay tuned, Pauperganda. And if you guys know of a streamer that's going, I don't care if you got one viewer and it's your friend. If he's playing Pauper, send me an email, Facebook, whatever, and we will help out. We will promote the hell out of it. At least we'll link it to the thing and maybe drive up a few viewers here or there. You never know. Who knows who and all that good stuff. I just want to go 3-2 against our nemesis. We're not supposed to win this matchup. Doesn't look like we're going to win this one. Thanks to Pulse of Murasa, we still feel like we got quite a bit of wiggle room. Come on, Corpse Cur. Get Gradient Cast a... Okay, alright. Yeah. And that is probably the #1 card I would want new artwork for. The only thing that's charming about it is how 1990s it feels like with regards to, you know, the original set of cards and such. I'm tempted to enchant the Kombaji Witches with Rancor. Encourage it to attack so I can at least slip in a spell and avoid Ratlock, but that's a fool's errand. Go from here. M1 GR3 NA. I gotta come up with a better moniker or something to call you there. He says, I play a lot of Pauper and Paper, but recently had an issue arise with card legality. Shiraz, shame on you. I guess it's all the eye of the beholder argument and stuff. All right. M1, tell us what your thoughts are. I'm just going to call you M1. If that offends you, too bad. Don't make such a long name next time. Says a guy with a big history of crazy names. Time to eat it. Oh, he doesn't have the discipline. He should really keep that witch back. There are scenarios. Here comes Chittering Rats. And we're locked out. 2, 4, 6. We're dead. All right, off to game last and final one. So the question is, can I play with Paper with my Chainer's Edicts and Hymn to Turok in the deck? All depends, from what I've found on the actual venue. They will usually have MTGO, they'll say like this is MTGO rules, or they'll say what it, if they don't clarify that it's MTGO, then yeah, you can play Hymn to Turok. A lot of creatures on the ground. I'm so tempted to bring in Treetop Bracers to skirt. You know what? I think I might want to bring in one instead of the Pulse. Because you could argue if I drop that and he's got the witches out, I'm going to just play one over the Pulse. Not worried about life too much. If I see if the tempo comes down and second turn he drops the witches, I at least have something unblockable that's going to demand something. Just going to try one though. We'll go like that. It's probably a dumb move, but this is it, guys. Win, loss. Here comes hopefully a win. Paul Walk DP. Good to see you. Thanks for chiming in. All right, we are going first, so that's a gigantic advantage in this deck. No creatures, a lot of filth, mulligan. No creatures, one land, mulligan. See where this is going? One creature, oh boy. Against a deck that probably has 7 cards in hand, and somehow they have 9 removal spells in hand. We'll keep. Yeah, I'm gonna throw that on the bottom. It's kind of tempted for the draw value, but it's like, well, why not just draw the next card? Drop the forest. I think we're going to go 2-3 here, guys. Not 3-2. That's a good sign, unless he's got a aqueduct follow-up. But if it's a swamp edict, we are dead in the water. We can at least stop a disfigure. That becomes a thing. Kinwaku says the Kingdom Pauper ban list. Oh, protection from green. All right. It could be worse. We can make ours protected from him and still attack. I'm going to play this out. We got Edict Insurance, and we actually can prevent nausea. I mean, it would really eviscerate our hand, but Paul Walk DP, use Card Kingdom list for Paper. Yeah, that's probably a good bet. That's the short answer. But nothing beats just contacting the local store and clarifying, because last thing you want to do is be in some mad shuffle for, card X, Y, and Z, and they're the cornerstone of your deck or whatever. Remember when Nemesis came out, I had a Stompy build that I went to a local store with, and I was really ignorant on the formatting rules and stuff, and it ended up costing me. I had to play with extra forest and stuff. It was just like, oh gosh, so frustrating. Come on, you haven't even infected him yet. Yeah, let's see. I gotta wait for that alpha strike. See, again, we want land here. We want land. We want 2 lands in a row. Ken Stukov says, the rule is used against legal online. It's also legal in paper. Spell Slam, thank you for chiming in. Glad to watch Deluxe live. Yeah, I wish I was doing a little bit better, as is usually the case when I stream. Yuck. We have to eat it. It's the slow downward spiral. He's only got 3 cards in hand, but there's probably 2 removal spells, and he's sitting on a counter spell, so this is not feeling that good. But I will be online the whole rest of the day. I plan on just vegging out. I'll probably be playing some variant of Infect. Don't go anywhere after we probably lose this match. I'm going to go over Golgari Infect, and if this has kind of tickled your fancy and you want to make some changes, whatnot, I think the general consensus is, as crazy as 19 lands sound, it might be more... I mean, every round there's been a scenario where we just want 1 more land. It might be... It sounds crazy. Might go up to 20. I've messed around with Lotus Petals, both in Golgari and this. Used to run 2, sometimes 3. I went crazy with a build that ran Reclaim. Maybe we can bring that up, Shiraz, to the logic being, oh, I'm going to go get my creature that you just killed and put it on top of my library, or I'm going to go get that Groundswell because I've got an extra land in my hand. Seems great in theory, and I wanted it to work so bad, and then every time I drew it, I'm like, kind of made that face every time I drew it, so for what that's worth. The Pauper event I help with common paper MTGO is legal with Card Kingdom list. All right. And before I tone out, remember tomorrow, if you're in the New Jersey area, I think it is, tomorrow, this time is the big tournament there, the Pauper, whatever, I keep wanting to say Pauperganda, but it's got some catchy name to it, so I think Nemesis Games, we'll put up an ad for it before the broadcast ends here, but, okay, come on, Counterspell, where you at? Wow, wow. Counterspell, all right. Taken to a turn, not liking this, which should be cool. I wish there was I know there's a Death Touch instant. The Guiltleaf Ambush is a neat tech if you have a high curve. In my Greenland land destruction deck, I used to like to play Guiltleaf Ambush against. It's kind of a trick because you've got higher casting cost cards, so you're going to kind of have 2 removal spells at the price of 1 instant. It's a nice way for green to kind of cheat black into the deck and such, but I'm kind of just getting desperate here. You only got 6 turns left at best. Walking to another counterspell. He's at 4. Hopefully he doesn't have a Archaeomancer to go grab the counterspell, or probably worse at this point, an Edict, but Spell Slam, I was surprised to see Desert and Amonkhet. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think, speaking of Card Kingdom, about 2 or 3 years ago, somebody won with a Desert build. It was like a Teachings build. It was very cool to see innovation at the top tables like that. That's what I always strive for. I get so tired of playing the main decks, but hey, when your tickets run low, sometimes you gotta play Delver or Stompy or Boros or one of the top meanies. Just kind of rinse, repeat your hand there. Or just throwing stuff into the fire here. We've got Nausea defense ×2. We haven't even poisoned this guy yet, so maybe this will make him lay off us, but it's probably just an Edict style plan. Don't like this play because I have to call protection from blue, and he's probably got black removal in his hand. Bam. The one thing we don't have mana for to defend against. Eat it. Well, we started strong. It was win, and then loss. But that was also Dimir, Orzhov, and Dimir. Orzhov's not much better on the tier of that side. About time. Gosh, 19 lands. You think we'd... I gotta play this. If we do drop a 2-drop, we've got double defense. Very grim, very hopeful. This is pretty much our last turn today of a live game anyway. We'll go over the Infect Golgari list after this and probably call it a day and run away with my tail between my legs just like last week. I might have to play Elves or something here soon. Get my street cred back, at least on the live end of things. There's only 2 days left of the leagues though, so be wary if you haven't played in a while and you're sitting on like a 2-2 or hopefully like a 4-0 and you've yet to play that last match. This is me telling you, be careful. You got about 48 hours, and actually I don't know what happens. Do they give you a refund? Has anybody had that happen where you just forgot to play a league? I haven't. Yeah, we're dead here. Call it up. So that's a big L. And it's nothing new. I didn't really learn anything this week. I mean, we ran up against very heavy black-based decks which I said we're going to lose to all 3 last games, and we didn't the first 2, and we won both of those. So kind of a roll of the dice metagame-wise, but I'll go over the deck list here real quick again. The changes I'd make, boy, I kind of want to add one more land to it. Maybe we move one of these to the sideboard. I don't know. I've liked seeing them every time I saw them. Maybe it's only 3 vines because of the blessing, because you always want to kick this, but that's also the rule of why we're putting in an extra forest. Who knows? I think I'm going to keep it as is. But so this runs 19 lands. 3 of them are the Cycle Persuasion. We have the Tree of Tales. Just going over a quick overview again real quick. People, why you play Tree of Tales? Wretch Mind. Well, they don't have Wretch Mind. Okay, well, Capsize, because you can counter it, and then it pretty much kills their Capsize. Or most likely is you're going up against Burn and you need to sack your own land to Nature's Claim, gain 4 life, get out of Firebolt Country, or Fire Blast, I should say, and of that thing. Obviously, when you have Nature's Claim, you want to Rancor it, or you want to target Rancor, but if you don't have it, it's nice to have a drawback in that. Anyway, Larger Than Life, giving it a try, liking it so far. Haven't the times it's won me a game, there's been maybe 1 or 2 times when I thought it was, I'd rather it be an instant. But again, you usually play it as a sorcery to see if the coast is clear, if they're going to be able to block it. Problem being with Predator Strike, use a surprise value with your 1 creature. They block the 1 creature. You do that, they counter it, your creature's dead, you're out of card, and the game's kind of like what happened the last 2 or 3 rounds. 4 Vines, 4 Ichorclaw, and 2 Corpse Cur to support the extra mana anyway. And let's not forget Groundswell, which you always want to have a land in hand or backup. So gut shots there for all the usual suspects, Delver and Standard Bearer. We've got 3 extra volleys because I really respect those decks and like to beat them. 4 Nature's Claim, which is great end of turn tech against Journey to Nowheres. 3 Treetop Bracers. Everybody doesn't see this coming, and it's great against Stompy. 1 Pulse of Murasa to act as the 3rd Corpse Cur to kind of get this engine going, which we never saw today. Anyway, let me go over to Golgari INFECT real quick, which I almost played today. A deck near and dear to my heart. Really like this deck. This one runs 18 lands. Should probably run more. Because it has Unearth in it, we don't run the package of the Corpse Cur, so we lower our curve by 1. We've got Crisp Bears and 2 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, and this is awesome. The Plague Stinger in so many matchups just brings it. It's usually the target for Unearth, unless you've got Rancor in your hand and it's like a 1/1 on the ground, then you kind of want to throw it on the Ichorclaw. Anyway, so the black spells main, that's all we've got. 4 Mutagenic, 4 Glistener, 4 Groundswell, 4 Rancor, 4 Seal of Strength, and if you notice, 4 Vines of Vastwood. The only thing we're really missing here is the big pump trample spell, so that's 3 cards, and then Apostle's Blessing, which is kind of a proxy for Unearth, but Apostle's Blessing, I give it a tiny bit of a nod just because it's not reactive, it's active. Like, it can protect your creature, but it can also make you win the game if they're playing. Like we saw, if one of those guys would have lived, we could have said pro-black, even though he had a Volan and Zombie out and attacked for the win. So I got to give it a little bit of a nudge edge that way. The big thing here is land. This deck is very hard to design around for the land. We need, and I've been over this so many times, but if you're new to Pauperganda, which a lot of you are, we need and mana, A-N-D, not or. We don't want to make black or green, even though that's what the card says. We want access to both on that first turn. And outside of a Glistener Elf first turn, Jungle Hollow or the Guild Gate is a great first play, because after that it plays as fast as Stompy. The only time this feels slow is if you have a Glistener Elf opening, and oftentimes if you do have a basic out there, and you don't really incur any tempo loss. Your next turn you play a tap land and you Groundswell it, and then you're off to the races, you Unearth it and come back and blah blah blah. Maybe I'll play this next week and we'll see how it goes. Watch, it ends up doing the same, go 2-3. I played 1 Mortuary Mire. I'm not sure about this. I went with Rot Farm, but sometimes you get those draws where you got 1 Rot Farm and you're like, I could have maybe been in this game if that was just a basic. So Rot Farm was logical as a 1-drop just because of Groundswell and being able to kind of recur that. In theory, when I saw it, I didn't like seeing it, so went with Mortuary Mire to just seal off this package. I won a tournament a few years ago with a very similar list that ran Duress. That was the first onus for thinking of this kind of strategy. This is probably the best card in this deck when it comes to what we just faced the last 3 rounds. Dimir, and Orzhov, where Ancestral Recall, nobody's going to argue that's just an amazing card. This is like selective Ancestral Recall. It's like, I just want these memories and I'm bringing them back. You go get your 3 best things. I like 2 of them in the sideboard. just a backbreaker on turn 4. Bink, hands filled up, bam, bring it on down, good times. 4 gut shots, we've got 4 Nature's Claim, 4 Moment's Peace, a little bit more defensive angle in this strategy. Why don't we play Treetop Bracers and we play Moment's Peace over this? Well, because we have more evasion in this deck in the form of Plague Stinger, the logic anyway. And one Pulse of Murasa because sometimes, you know, burn can get out of hand, and we just want that end of turn there. So that's Golgari. In fact, let me catch up on the chat here. Littlefight says, nothing all happens, it's just gone. Mikey Ruru, if you don't finish a league, you just get a prize based on the wins you've already accrued. Oh, I see. Okay, I've never known that. 8686, you should play Invigorate. Yeah, I should. Darn it, why didn't I think of that? We need a Corrosive Gale at common, Hallowing Gale. Oh, I'll have to look that up later. That doesn't ring a bell. So, and Gale. And Tree of Tales just for accidental life gain or Nature's Claim. Yeah, gosh, I've been over that like 4 times, but you might have been using the restroom or whatever. Tree of Tales, yeah, Nature's Claim, go grab it. It's good against, really good against burn. In the rare scenarios, if you do have access to Apostle's Blessing, it's good capsize bait and all that stuff. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. I'm going to be online all the time. Feel free to hit me up for a game. We'll see you next week and all that good stuff. For now, I'm Deluxikoff, and if you got any cool questions, concerns, comments, all that good stuff, hit us up, pauperganda@gmail.com. Spread the word of the format, and stay tuned. I'm going to show one commercial followed by an event happening in New York, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Clogged pipes and plugged up toilets can bring a busy family to its knees. At Stinkweed, we know and understand you and your family just don't have time for that. Stinkweed, fast, professional plumbing you can count on. Call 2 in a Black, DREDGE5. That's 2 in a Black, DREDGE5.
I was brought to my knees, but Stinkweed dredged my pipes.